is a lamp unto my feet, and a light unto my path. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet, and a light unto my path.
First reading. A reading from the book of Job, chapter 7, verses 1 to 4 and verses 6 to 7. Job spoke, saying, Is not a man's life on earth a drudgery? Are not his days those of his hirelings? He is a slave who longs for the shade, a hireling who waits for his wages. So I have been assigned months of misery, and troubled nights have been allotted to me. If in bed I say, When shall I arise? Then the nights shall drag on. I am filled with restlessness until the dawn. My days are swifter than a weaver's shuttle. They come to an end without hope. Remember that my life is like the wind. I shall not see happiness again. The word of the Lord.
A reading from the first letter of St. Paul to the Corinthians, chapter 9, verses 16 to 19 and 22 to 23. Brothers and sisters, if I preach the gospel, this is no reason for me to boast, for an obligation has been imposed on me, and woe to me if I do not preach it. If I do so willingly, I have a recompense. But if unwillingly, then I have been entrusted with the stewardship. What then is my recompense? That when I preach, I offer the gospel free of charge, so as not to make full use of my right in the gospel. Although I am free in regard to all, I have made myself a slave to all, so as to win over as many as possible. To the weak I became weak, to win over the weak. I have become all things to all, to save at least some. All this I do for the sake of the gospel, so that I too may have a share in it. The word of the Lord.
A reading from the Holy Gospel of St. Mark, chapter 1, verses 29 to 39. On leaving the synagogue, Jesus entered the house of Simon and Andrew with James and John. Simon's mother-in-law lay sick with a fever. They immediately told him about her. He approached, grasped her hand, and helped her up. Then the fever left her, and she waited on them. When it was evening, after sunset, they brought to him all who were ill or possessed by demons. The whole town was gathered at the door. He cured many who were sick with various diseases, and he drove out many demons, not permitting them to speak because they knew him. Rising very early before dawn, he left and went off to a deserted place where he prayed. Simon and those who were with him pursued him, and on finding him said, "Everyone is looking for you." He told them, "Let us go on to the nearby villages, that I may preach there also. For this purpose have I come." So he went into their synagogues, preaching and driving out demons throughout the whole of Galilee. This is the gospel of the Lord.
On this 4th of February, my dear friends, we celebrate the 5th Sunday in Ordinary Time, and in Sri Lanka, we celebrate the solemnity of Our Lady of Lanka. It is a significant moment for our country, my dear friends, because Our Lady of Lanka interceded for us and brought about God's grace and protection. In this time and age, when we need it most, let us turn towards Mary and ask for that intercession to redeem us and to give us freedom and to bring us peace and justice in our country. My dear friends, In this year 2024, Holy Father has declared that we prepare ourselves in prayer for the great Jubilee year, the Holy Year of the Lord 2025, with the theme Pilgrims of Hope. Pope Francis has issued instructions for the Universal Church that with this theme of Pilgrims of Hope, the Church will prepare on a pilgrimage towards the year 2025, marking the redemption of the Lord. Every 50 years and 25 years in the past, the popes have declared holy years, jubilee years, in order to mark the salvation brought about by Jesus. Therefore, my dear friends, we are privileged to be in this landmark year, or the milestones of our redemption of 2025 years. In preparation for the great Jubilee year, 2024 has been dedicated as the year of prayer. Once again, with the theme Pilgrims of Hope, Pilgrims of Prayer. Jesus came on a pilgrimage to this earth with the mission of our salvation. And then, my dear friends, He has entrusted that mission, that pilgrimage towards heaven to our church. And we are called upon at this age and time to be those pilgrims who walk with Jesus towards that heavenly pilgrimage that we will reach one day and meet the Lord in heaven. Therefore, we are called upon to prepare ourselves in prayer during this year through communal prayer, through personal prayer, and, my dear friends, with that spirit of prayer in our hearts, so that we will be considered pilgrims going on a pilgrimage of faith, a pilgrimage of prayer with the theme Pilgrims of Hope.